morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
We are here for the presentation of military honors for us as Masons, brother Wendell Treme and his family. So at this time I will turn it over to the military. And then after that we will proceed with the ritual of a lodge of sorrow, followed by the funeral honors.
Each other, each other. For all those who are able, please stand for the rendering of military honors. Any proud of foreign military or law enforcement may render a hand salute during the playing of taps, and everyone else may also participate by placing your hand over your heart during the playing of taps. Thank you.
time, if anybody would like to say some words about, to the family and about, Brother Wendell, the lodge is open for that.
Hello, everybody. Y'all may know me as Treme. As y'all know, he was a great man. I had prepared a few things. Just give me a second. I wasn't anticipating going this early, but here we go. Before I get started, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank everyone for being here today. It means so much to me, my family, that you decided to be here with us today to remember my father's life. I know that he's smiling on us from above and absolutely thrilled that so many of you showed up today to remember him. Also wanted to give thank you to all the friends and family that showed up to lend a hand when our family was going through this difficult time. It truly means a lot. Also a big thank you to the men of Trinity Union Lodge for giving my father the ceremony he always mentioned. Losing my dad was one of the most difficult hardships I've ever had to go through. That being said, this process made me realize how lucky I was to have a father like Scott. Without his example, encouragement, advice, and love, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I'm eternally grateful for his life as an example for how I should live mine. My dad was difficult to sum up in a few words, but some that come to mind are loving, compassionate, wise, strong, intelligent, skilled, and thoughtful. When I was younger, we spent a lot of time hunting and fishing. Deer camp is where I learned how to drive. Dad, teaching me and my brother skills and giving guidance was his main priority. He wanted to make sure that we knew everything he knew, and we could do everything that he could do, but better. Dad, you've given me all the tools to be outstanding in this life and laid the blueprint for how to be a great father. Thank you for the tools in my toolbox. Dad, you'll never be forgotten. Our family is eternally lucky to have had you as the head of our family. We'll honor your memory by giving your grandchildren the guidance and tools that you gave us to make sure they know how great of a man you are. Love you.
Well, my name is Scott's older son. Thank you, Wes, for your kind words. Again, try to say a few words knowing my dad. But as long as I can remember, all I knew his dad. It wasn't until I saw him sign an official document that I realized his name was Wendell. Not Scott. Scott. That the story made me laugh then, and it still makes me smile now. Because no matter what name was on paper, to me, it was simply Dad. The man who got it taught and shaped the person I am today. I had the privilege of living with him throughout my childhood when he was still in the Navy. We went through PCS, or permanent change of station, from San Diego to Honolulu. Looking back, I realized how much I learned from watching him balance service to the country with devotion to his family. Even when life shifted from one duty station to the next, he made every new place feel like home. I still remember sitting in the audience at his retirement ceremony, listening to the stories of his career, stories of heroism and quiet professionalism that defined him. I remember the pride I felt as I listened to the citation being read, realizing that my dad was the kind of man others admired and respected. That moment stayed with me ever since. Dad was a true Louisiana man through and through, a loyal Saints fan, an LSU football diehard, and someone who could talk sports with anyone at any time. He loved being out in the water, taking his boat out to get the line wet and search out big catch. Sportsman paradise, couldn't describe it any better. because that's exactly what he was happiest. Outdoors, surrounded by family, and living life his way. Taught me how to play just about every sport, whether we're playing catch in the yard, shooting hoops in the driveway, or when he dragged me along as a caddy at the golf course. He was patient when I missed, and proud when I succeeded. He also, the one who sat beside me when I learned to drive, steady and calm, even when I probably gave him a few reasons not to be. But the lessons that stayed with me most weren't about sports or driving. They were about life. About being the kind of man who stands up for what's right, who serves his country with pride, and who loves his family without hesitation. From him, I learned what it means to be a patriot, a husband, and a father, always striving to be a good man. Now, as I raise my own kids, his grandkids, who knew him as Pawpaw, I see pieces of him in everything I do. The way I teach them, love them, and try to show up every day. That all comes from him. My only regret is that he won't be there when I retire from the Marine Corps, sitting in the audience like I once did for him. But I take comfort in knowing he was proud of me. Proud of the man, the husband, and the father I've become while he was still here with us. I'll always be grateful for the man he was and the lessons he left behind. And though the world feels empty without him, I know he's still with us. In every memory, every story, every lesson we pass down. Thank you, Dad, for showing me the way.
2011 was a very, very good year. And for 2011, I had never met Wendell Scott Treme, but from the moment that I met him, I saw a brilliant light, someone whose compass was sure and steady, who had a hand on the pulse of our brothers here, far beyond and far and wide, and everything that's good and great about our organization, and everything that Brother Trinity touched always was professional, good, and kind, and full of love.
Brother Treme was the greatest support that I've ever had serving as master. I've served as master of 4 lodges, and I have to say that the most professional, and one that always tended to be better than it was the day before, was this lodge, and is this lodge. And it's because of men like Brother Treme. I have never met a secretary as proficient, and I've had more than a few. And Brother Treme, I mean, even when he was wrong, he was right. And he just always reminded us of our obligation. And I remember an incident where there was a little disharmony. Brother Treme told us that it was certainly fine for us to disagree, but that we should ever forget our obligations as Masons and remember that we're all being on the level and that we are all brothers. I will miss him greatly. I don't know how the lodge is going to do. I mean, we're going, of course, to prevail, but it is certainly going to be a tremendous loss to us. And I know that his family will miss him greatly, and even more so than we will, and that is almost incomprehensible now to me. I just thank you so much for sharing him with us.
I'd like to say some things about his Masonic history. Brother Scott, as most of us call him, was born April 30th, 1960, in Quincy, Louisiana. He was initiated, for those that aren't familiar with Masonry, in the Blue Lodge, which we are considered Blue Lodge. There's 3 levels before to become a Master Mason: Entered Apprentice, Fellowcraft, and Master Mason. And it requires some work to go through each degree. He petitioned and was initiated as an Entered Apprentice Mason on June the 3rd, 2003. On August, 2 months later, 23rd, 2003, he was passed the degree of Fellowcraft. Then in September 16th of 2003, he was raised as a Master Mason. He went through the chairs at Fairfield Lodge, number 425, before Fairfield's consolidated with Trinity Union. And he started that journey back on January of 2005. The next step was Senior Warden, which is in the west there. And he did that in 2006. And then for the first time, he became Master, Worshipful Master of the Lodge in 2007. He not only served that 1 year, but he served 4 years after that in the Master's position. He's been Secretary for Trinity Union Lodge for 13 years. He was Grand Sword Bearer for the Grand Lodge of the state of Louisiana on April 2023. Was District Deputy Grand Master of the 13th Masonic District, in which we are. He became that and held that post in April of 2024. He was a member of the Development Committee and the Board of budgets and control for the Grand Lodge of the state of Louisiana. He well represented us as men, as Masons, as a brother. Thank you, Brother Treme, for the time that you spent with us, for the lessons that we have learned, for the strength that you have provided. May we continue to do the same. Brother Senior Warden, will you take with you the necessary assistance and drape the altar for Brother Wendell Scott Treme?
Brother Senior, Junior Deacon, you will come to me.
Y'all may be seated. We will now be opening the Lodge of Sorrow.